So here we go. Sim upgrade from Logitech to the Fanatec. $1,000 worth of wheel and pedals. Is it worth it? Yes, I'm going to chuck up a review now, non-biased, and just have a look and show you what it's all about. I suppose while I'm at it, it's Australia Day in a couple of days, so go Australia! Fuck yeah! Alright, Fanatec wheel. Gonna start with the wheel. Yeah, $1,000 for this thing delivered. Is it worth it? I don't know. In my opinion, I'm still undecided. I think it's not too bad for the price, but considering the amount of engineering they put into this thing and options you've got with it, I'd say pretty much it'd be pretty good value for money at the end of the day. There are a couple of little things with it, but we'll get into it. I've got the P1 wheel on here, which has got the Alcantara, I think that's how you pronounce it. The feels like velour around the wheel. It's already, I've been using it probably for about a month now. It's already starting to ball up a little bit, but hey, look, Aussie climate. I'm racing barefoot and bare hands. I buy this shit to use it. I don't piss fart around with it. So look, if it's going to start to do that, it's going to start to do that because I use bare hands, and it's too bloody hot at the moment. It was 47 degrees in here the other day, and yeah, I'm not putting gloves or shoes on. So that's that. So what I do like about it, as I said, yeah, 30cm wheel. The paddle shifts are a nice D10 on them. Positive action, positive click. We've got the standard rev lights with the colours on them. Also too, up the top here, you can see we've got a shift up. Tells you the gears. It's pretty good, and we've got, I really like this up the top on the. You can see it in your peripheral vision, rather to say. So when it, you can see it gets to that bluey colour, and then it goes back to a whitey colour. That you can see that in your peripheral, your peripheral. So again, having a shocker. That yeah, you're going to need to change gears. So I actually like that. As we got the buttons, all the buttons here, pull them out. They give you a little tool, I think. They'll pull them out. I just pull them out with my fingernails, and they just click back in. So all of these are customizable. So I've got a look left, look right. I've got a select neutral. I've got a horn. I think these are my menu buttons for changing them. So yeah, need to change tyres or up the sway bar or whatever you're trying to do, plus and minus. I've got my menu over here as well, switching the menu on and off. I've got to, just in case, reset force feedback wheel. I don't know, maybe I'm just used to Logitech, and every now and then it used to drop out and I'd have to reset the force feedback. So I haven't had to do that yet with the Fanatec stuff. Yeah, so that was it. It's all about that menu, stuff like that. So, and then we've got settings up here. We'll go into it. I push the button. Alright, push the button. There we go. We've got setting 1. We've actually got I think up to 5 settings to save in there. So on setting 1. So I'll push this across. Sensitivity. Go down and change it. I've been playing around with it. Yeah, it's up to you. So sensitivity is actually the in-game wheel range. So we have a look. Go back to sensitivity. I'm on 500 degrees at the moment, racing these old cars. So yeah, that's that. Force feedback. I be honest with you, if I let go of this, I wonder if it's going to do it for me. I did have every now and then I've got a problem with this wheel that decides to oscillate. I haven't been able to get rid of it. I've played with the settings, I've done bloody everything with it, so it seems to disappear when I change settings and get out. this menu and go back into the game, then it disappears for some reason, then comes back. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but anyway. So yeah, that's force feedback and sensitivity, force feedback. That's the overall force of the wheel. Then we've got the shock. So I've turned these down. I was on 100% for both of those two, but since I was getting oscillations in the wheel every time I jumped into the pit, there we go, it's starting to oscillate. Don't know what's going on there. It's pretty cool though with these old cars that it actually revs and moves with the torque of the motor. So anyway, ABS, that's used for the pressure of your plate. The wheel's going to vibrate if you set that to I think I got it on 95%. So if I'm putting 95% of my brake pressure on there, it's going to start vibrating at that. So it's not something I only just started playing with today, just to muck around with it. The DRI, basically I can't remember what that is because I didn't think it was relevant to our game. So sorry about that. Can't remember. I haven't used it because it's not for the game. The force. So I've played with these. These are games that, settings that you only get in certain games. I know for a fact the Xbox, like console, God forbid you'd be buying $1,000 worth of wheel for a $400 freaking console. But anyway, to play arcade games on it. But anyway, that's up to you. The force, so these are other settings. So force, get up to, I think, what are we up to, 120 on there. So that's the force of the wheel. Then we've got the spring, which is the game effects to spring the wheel back to center. Yeah, we've got that on about 70. It's just over halfway. That's what I've started with most of these. And the damper, that's how hard it's going to be to the resistance on turning the wheel. So I got that one in there as well. About 80. I turned those up after I turned the other force and back down, trying to get rid of the oscillation, which seems to be pretty good at the moment. But sometimes you grab the wheel and do it, and it seems doing it. Anyway, brake force. This is pretty cool. So if we go into this menu, I've got it on 40. So when I start, it'll have your rev lights here to tell you. See, because I've got the pressure plate for the brake. That's basically if I turn that up, you can see my brake foot. I'm going to have to push harder and harder and harder on that wheel. The more the pedal, the more you turn it up. So that's pretty cool. So I've found a comfortable position on how much force I want to push on the pedal and set it to that. So that's my maximum brake pressure. It's just pretty damn cool. I like that. I think it's like fidelity or something like that. This is how much, basically the smoothing. I've got that off, so I'm just on raw at the moment because earlier I was, like I said, trying to get rid of these oscillations that were happening for some reason. Only just started happening recently, so I've had that off. But if you go into it, it goes up to 100%. So basically that's how sharp the reactions and sensations you're going to get through the wheel. So that's pretty cool. So that's basically all the settings. The quick release on here isn't quite quick release. It requires a Allen key for the bottom of it. So, but it doesn't take that long to change that one. That's the one Allen key they did supply for this. They didn't supply other Allen keys because obviously to mount this onto a sim I had to remove the bump stops that usually go on here because I wanted this one to sit in a different position to the way they'd normally sit it on the table or something. So they've got the down the bottom there. You'll see it through the wheel, probably get into it. I'm using the clamp at the moment. I will go to the mounting holes. But yeah, obviously the screws weren't supplied. It does say that in the instructions because obviously everybody uses a different thickness mounting plate on your sim, so they're not going to provide the screws because on the thing it says there's only 16mm depth going into the unit that you've got to play with. So obviously you're going to have to measure the screws to get the right screws for it. yeah, that's basically everything with the wheel. Pretty happy. It feels pretty good. I'll probably go back. I'll pump out another video in a minute. I'm going to do a practice session on the Barbagallo. We've got the next Aussie Legends race coming up, so I can probably go into how the wheel feels. But basically, that's it. It's nice and smooth. Very responsive. This actually wheel, the P1's very light compared to the other ones, so it yeah, feels really good. The unit, I don't know whether it's glass fibre reinforced ABS or polycarbonate without pulling it apart and having a look at it, but very tough, very rigid, especially outside box. Feels very brittle, very tough. Yeah, like the pattern on the front, on and off button. It's very quiet when it does its calibration, just slowly spins around and gets to either end. Not like the old Logitech, they think it'd wake you up if you were asleep. That's about it. Probably move on to the pedals and the rest of it. I didn't get the gearbox with it because I've got my hand on it over here, my homemade sequential shifter. There we go. I've just stalled the car. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty happy. Move on to the pedals. Well, I suppose we go from the wheel to the pedals. The Fanatec pedals down there. I've taken the rubber pad off the accelerator. But yeah, we'll go through it all. They're not a bad set of pedals, these. As you know, I've got to move this thing out. It's on wheels. Oh, there we go. Just going to slide her out. Look at that. Well, excuse my cable management. There's 13 bloody power points on this and about 10 USBs. So, yeah, hang with me. Done my best to try and hide all the cables. Looks good from the front, but yeah, there are the pedals. Alright, here we go, pedals. Down here where the feet go. What have we got? Got aluminium, construction, and then we've got some PU foam bump stops for the two of them. This one's got a progressive sponge on it for the clutch. So it's sort of, they're loaded up pretty hard with the springs, but they feel pretty good and realistic to the feet. So yeah, pretty happy with that so far. The brake I haven't had to change. We've got the PU foam, the soft one in the middle there, gives a little bit of play in the wheel, and then you've really got to push down on it, and that's with the load cell kit on it. And then obviously accelerator just on a spring with the bump stop, and these are both 12-bit potentiometers. Pretty happy with the way they feel. I suppose one thing too, there was they didn't give you heaps of option to try and attach this to the sim. I've had to put a tech screw into that one and a tech screw into the one up the end. Probably see it there, just in there, and then pull up the rubber strip under here, and you can see how where all the dirt collects. Yeah, we've got all the fixings. So these pedals could be slotted in, moved, put wherever you want them. I actually used a Type 17 batten head screw. Bung that one in there to fix it to my base plate. So that's pretty good. And all this, my base plate slides forward and back to adjust it all. So yeah, all in all, very heavy, very solid. Like this plate here, it's very, very, very heavy and solid. And then you can see the thickness of the walls on each of the pedals, the bases. Pretty good construction. Even all the actual pedals themselves, well braced, well made, well built. Pretty happy with them so far. Can't complain about that. And I haven't had to change any of these yet, because it actually comes with a kit to swap these bushes out. I feel like neoprene or something like that, to swap them for different densities, so you can actually make this brake pedal feel how you want it to feel. So I was pretty happy with it out of the box, so I haven't changed it. That's it. So that's the pedals. So yeah, just to recap, so all well and good. Pretty happy with the pedals. It's all bolted onto my sim pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Not going to do any driving on this one here. It was just to show you how it all went onto my sim. Bolted straight on. Pretty happy with it. Pretty easy conversion from the other stuff. Yeah, it's all there. Can't complain at all. So is it worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. $1,000. It's not too bad considering the stuff that they put into it. And yeah, onto it. Oh, I suppose I'll show you too. I got me in that other video fitted me my bass shaker and power unit on there. The 800 watt PSU, I think it is, and the amplifier. So then we've got the old bass shaker down underneath there. Does a fantastic job of rumbling the butt when you're in the seat and making it feel like the car's there underneath you, vibrating. So anyway, all good. So that's that. So that's the Fanatec oil review. Yep, pretty happy. So I'd rate it about 9 out of 10. Anyway, I'll catch you later. I'm going to put up another video of the latest practice session. We've got the next race for the Aussie Legends coming up, so I'm going to do a little bit of a car setup and use the oil and I suppose talk about the force feedback on it. But apart from that, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you feel like it, or subscribe because there's plenty more coming up, and I'll catch you all later. See ya.